The restoration of democracy not only brought the return of democratic principles, but above all the colonization of a new territory by capital. And we are in the great street for this argument, I believe. The occupation of public space by commercial interests, commercial ventures or advertisements for the same is the narrative backdrop in which we live now. Although the density may be vary in different locales and its specific form may display either local color or a sense of the generic and globalized, it is a permanent aspect of a global phenomenon. What this ultimately does is stifle public interest by manipulating people for purpose of generating profit. Within that, I was trying to somehow explain that it's not just the architecture or urbanism or whole setup that is like designed for us in the cities, but it is also like our inner voice of as a result of upbringing and this mental space like full of your own rules that were given to you. And let's go this direction, it's more fascinating. And this like inner systems of how to behave, and that is with strong connection to that choreography that we are like usually using in public space. So sometimes it could be question like where to sit or how to sit, or if you would like to like change your position, or if you are tired, or if you are like sick or not feeling well. So what to do in the public space if you in certain moment find out that you need to just lay down. And this very simple position could be a huge impulse for a conflict or for something that is like not appropriate. So it's also part of my like research or interest, how this like acting in the public space could be like questioned again or change or whatever. But yeah, let's think about this, and maybe it could be also my question to you, if you would feel a difference between, for example, this open public space on the street or what we would experience inside. And let's go there, it will be more cold. It was heavily like redesigned or like reshaped like many years ago within this like huge reconstruction actually of the underground metro station of Národní třída. But within that there came this project of nowadays called Quadrio that pretty much changed the previous like socialistic architecture that was like mainly focused on like transfer of people, like transfer of public, where they should go from the metro station to the tram and so on. And so this priority is also interesting to me to compare, like what was the priority between like 40 years ago, before 40 years ago, or what's the priority nowadays. So nowadays we can see a lot of like wonderful priorities here. I think this piece of art I wouldn't call it a priority. It's a decoration actually. It's a huge decoration. I think we don't have to like spend time on it. It's what it is, and it's completely enough. But now I would. Yeah, Kafka. Kafka is completely like amazing, and Yeah, maybe I can continue because I have like a lot of to offer today about Quadrio. So let's start with the owner's structure. That is fascinating. So the Quadrio group is owned by CPI Group. That is actually mainly owned by Radovan Vítek. Radovan Vítek is born in 1971 and is actually a Czech billionaire, real estate investor and majority shareholder in CPI Property Group, which owns almost 10 billion euro property portfolio of 418 properties, including offices, retail, and 12,000 residential units and 10,000 hotel beds. Vítek's name first resonated in the public sphere in 1997 when he took control of the Včela cooperative. And I am, maybe I like, not like, or it's interesting to read all of this in the face of Franz Kafka. So let's enjoy this moment together. So again, back to Radovan Vítek. So when he took control of the Včela cooperative, actually Včela cooperative was a very old cooperative, I think established in 1905, so more than 120 years ago almost. That was a very lovely cooperative that was dealing with honey and this kind of goodies. So which had become a monopoly honey producer under socialism, this Včela cooperative, and owned real estate worth roughly 4 billion. It was probably Czech crowns. It was real estate that interested Vítek in 1997. Quotation: "We carried out a classic hostile takeover." End of quotation. He commented later. He recruited 3,000 new members for the takeover, usually socially vulnerable ones, as that who then helped him outvote the original 600 cooperative members. The cooperators called the procedure theft, but a subsequent court upheld Vítek's actions. Vítek started a big real estate game. After the collapse of Istro Capital, he founded the company Czech Property Investment, speculated extensively in land, bought restituents' claims against the state, leased Včela properties to retail chains, and last but not least, bought rental apartments from industrial companies. We are witnessing a massive flow of information. An individual response on an emotional level for the simple reason that such a vast volume is impossible to comprehend, to reflect rationally upon or interpret. The precondition of rational thinking is the ability to absorb and process information, to produce an adequate interpretation which requires deeper attention, something that is increasingly suppressed. The seriousness of this phenomenon is reflected, among other things, by the rise of populist political movements. Their campaigns consist of the broadcasting of empty slogans, stripped of context, and the promotion of received stereotypes in order to be absorbed within a very short span of time, with minimum effort or attention on the parts of the recipients. There are many more floors this direction, so we will just use these moving stairs, and it would be lovely if you can join me if you want. With the growing influence of the medium of photography and the moving image, the mass of images becomes part of an ever stronger focus on emotions. The effect of social networks presents a good example of the impact of visuality, which is far more effective in communicating archetypal emotions based on repetitive and stereotypical patterns. The focus on emotion is a patent trend in the advertising strategies of the last several decades. Jill Lipovetsky defines several phases that led towards the rise of the hyper-consumerist society. This was preceded by the phase of mechanized production that focused simply on the product itself and the function of the product. At present, we are in an era that has transformed the product into an experience, marketing ephemeral sensations, appealing not too rationally, but to our emotions. It is not my aim, however, to discuss marketing strategy. My aim is to freely move through this public space. Is it okay, Lisa? So, yeah.
So we got the read.
So now we are in the space of underground metro station, and before a moment I was like remembering that huge space within the socialistic era that was like pretty much bigger than this hall. So it's interesting, like, just to compare these priorities. Now we can go back through the moving stairs if you want, if it's not for you uncomfortable to meet this guy, or I don't know what would happen, but I believe that we are not doing anything like against the law. We have like one last very interesting and important stop actually in the corner here. It's just great. We cannot believe that because usually the visitor rules, you or me, I would guess that they could be like approachable on a website or something, but they not. So I did that work that I like take image of it and I print it and I study it at home. So now I can tell you more how like interesting points you can find there. So I will just pick those that are a bit bizarre. So number 3, I will read it, so it's a quotation. Disrupting public order, e.g. by loud and disturbing conduct, use of physical force, any and all defamatory expressions or gestures aimed against race, religion or ethnicity, conduct with a distinct sexual subtext or other acts which may result in a disturbance or which may offend other persons present and now, or disturb the peace and order in centre. 4. Unauthorized gathering of persons in the centre. Our case. 5. Making video or other recordings of the centre or any and all events taking place in the centre without the previous written consent of the centre management. 7. Entry by persons under 10 years of age not accompanied by an adult. 8. Running, riding on roller skates, on a skateboard or scooter, a bicycle or any other equipment with the permission of the security service. It is possible to lead a bicycle through the common areas on the ground floor of the center with the security guy. 11. Entry by persons who may be a nuisance to other visitors due to their insufficient torn or dirty clothing, their odor, dirtiness of those who show visible symptoms of an infectious disease, etc. Just few ones. 16. Sleeping on seating furniture located in the premises of the city center. 17. Washing laundry or washing activities other than normal hand washing in toilets. 20. Entering the internal areas of the center with pets, with the exception of guide dogs of blind persons, dogs on leashes with muzzles, or pets carried in a container or held in arms, Nonetheless, the security staff of the center are authorized to order visitors with pets out of the internal areas. 27. Consumption of food not purchased in center. 29. Loitering in places intended for sitting in area of the food level without ordering or without consuming purchased food. Thank you very much. Let's go outside.
Nice, and thank you very much to all of you for being part. Thank you.